Okay, I think we have everything set up. Drinks, food, and especially snacks. I even made sure to get all your favorites, because hey, that's what best friends do. I can see you've already eaten half of them. I've got even more downstairs in the snack cupboard, by the way. You know where it is. You've been over to my house like a million times. Anyway, now our sleepover can finally begin. So, before you watch a movie and snuggle or something, I mean, hey, if you're up for that kind of thing, that is, you know, just as best friend snuggling. But anyway, what I'm getting at here is, I was wondering if you could help me out with something first. See, I've been writing this story, right? I was wondering if you could sort of give me feedback, you know? Well, it's still in the early stages, it's more of an outline really, but anyway, I was thinking I could quickly run through the main points and you could tell me your thoughts. Would that be alright with you? Great! That's great. I'm glad to hear it. Okay, so, where do I begin? Well, first of all, I guess I should give you the main character. So, he's a boy with hair colour just like mine, and he lives in a house just like this one. And he has this friend of his, right, with an eye colour just like yours. In fact, that he loves very, very much more than just a friend. But the friend is very dense and never seems to realise it. In fact, the friend seems to be kind of slow to read between the lines just in general. Okay, so what do you think of my character so far? Nothing is wrong with him so far, right? Right. Nothing is wrong with him. He didn't do anything wrong. Anyway, so this boy is madly in love with his friend. I'm talking about 200% crazy. Head over heels, absolutely nuts in love. His friend is making him lose his marbles. But I mean, hey, hopefully that's not the only thing that'll make him lose, but it's really difficult when the friend is so dense. Anyway, so the boy really loves his friend, but he can't confess, because what if he gets rejected? He could never take that sort of thing. It could even ruin their friendship, right? And that's the one real emotional connection he has. Everything else feels so lifeless and fake to him, so he really doesn't have the heart to confess directly. There's too much he could lose, so he tries to sort of feel things out, if you get what I'm saying. He tries to make a little, illusions here and there, trying to test his friend's reaction, see if it's okay to confess yet, kind of thing. Sometimes he even flirts in a sort of indirect way, but of course his friend is hopelessly dense, so this sort of method never really works for him. He even asks to snuggle a lot, and when he gets to, he always gets these, makes these flirty remarks, like, "You're so good at snuggling, I wish I was the boyfriend of somebody who snuggles like you," or something like that. But the friend doesn't get any of it, of course. The boy does everything. He even always makes sure to keep all of his friend's favourite snacks in the cupboard. But of course, the significance of this goes unnoticed. Okay, so now, what do you think of him so far? Right, so far so good. He didn't do anything wrong. There's nothing wrong with him trying to be indirect and test the waters. There's nothing wrong with him trying to protect his relationship and his happiness. If anything, the friend should have really noticed his feelings. Am I right? Okay, but I'm still not done. Let me get on with the story. So, the boy just really can't get enough of his friend. He wants to be romantic with them. He wishes they were a couple, but he can't just seize that dream. So, he fantasizes a little bit, Innocent little fantasies. Everyone has them about their crush, right? So he does too. Innocent little fantasies, like holding hands with them, hugging them, getting married to them. But that's still not enough. And he just wants to bring that fantasy just a little bit into reality. So he takes a photo of himself and his friend together, and then he edits it a little bit to make it look like a wedding photo, wedding suit and all. And it makes him so happy. To finally have a bit of reality to his fantasy, you know? Something tangible. He looks at the photo every day, every night. He makes it his phone background, he frames a copy and even sleeps next to it. It's the one thing that gives him peace of mind. He's usually always such an insomniac from not getting his happily ever after. But he can't be satisfied with that. Not with just a photo. It's still missing something. His fantasy just still isn't physical enough. He thinks of all the times he snuggles his friend and how lonely it would feel like that even when they weren't around to snuggle, so he thinks about his friend's sweater. Now, if we wore that, it'd be sort of feel like he was snuggling them, and he needs that. He needs that very much. So one day when his friend isn't paying attention, he ever so defiantly swipes the sweater and replaces it with an identical one. He gets away with it completely. He keeps a straight face the entire day. He smiles to his friend as usual. He laughs with them as usual. They don't suspect a thing. And he loves the sweater. He cherishes it, treasures it, and goes to sleep every night wearing it, pretending like it is his friend all around him, not just their sweater. And I would ask you what you think about it, about him, right now, but I already know the answer. It's fine. He's fine. He didn't do anything wrong. He's just acting out of love. Nothing wrong with that. Nothing wrong with loving his friend who has your eye colour, who has your hair colour, who happens to love the exact same snacks as you. There's nothing wrong with the main character being a little romantic, but it's because he's so romantic that he can't just settle down. He can't be happy with just a sweater. As great as it is, it's still a sweater, you know? It's not as great as the real thing, and he's just torn apart, and he can't spend more time with his friend. Every second that he's from them, it's just eating away at his insides, little by little, all the time, and you just can't take it anymore. He wants to spend every waking second with them. Obviously, that's not it's not possible. So he starts watching that friend. It starts with just watching them from behind the bushes at first, or maybe from behind a car or something, and he wakes up smiling every day knowing that today he can watch his friend again. Then after a while he gets an idea. He sets up cameras, very hidden cameras, the kind that you wouldn't notice. He sets them up all over places that his friend frequents, and of course he especially makes sure to set up plenty in their room, so now he can watch them all the time. They probably wouldn't let him sleep over every day, right? That would be unreasonable, but now he can watch his friend fall asleep every single night. It's almost like they're a couple, but they're not. They're not a couple. He's a great character, right? You don't have to say anything because I already know. He's fine. He's fine. He didn't do anything wrong. But like I was saying, they're not a couple. And in a way, watching his friend all the time through cameras makes him extremely aware of that. Because, yeah, you can see all the things his friend does, but also shows him all the attention that they get from other people, and he just feels so neglected. Like, when he sees them sharing meals with others, he thinks, that should be me sharing that meal with them. When he sees them laughing and joking with others, he thinks, that should be me. And when he sees them talking to others, he thinks, that should be me. And he tries to keep it together. But of course, he tries. He never does anything wrong. He tries to bury his feelings deep down within his heart because he didn't just want to hurt all those people coming in between him and his friend. Even though he might, he doesn't want to be destructive or harmful, especially not around his friend. But there's no way to keep a burden like that all inside, right? His jealousy, his resentment towards his feelings of neglect, they all get a bit more heated day after day until inevitably the entire thing boils over. So he invites his friend over to a sleepover, just like this one in fact. And the one thing he wants more than anything is just to be accepted. But it's too hard to even ask for that. If he tries to be direct, he just stutters like a bumbling idiot. So he confesses about his feelings. He confesses about all the things he did. But he does it in a very indirect way. He confesses as if it was a character in a story that felt and did all these things and not himself. But he's worried. He's still so worried. What if he wasn't accepted or isn't accepted? What if they tried to run away? So he has a backup plan. He has some rope that he keeps under his bed. It looks just like my bed right there. And he drug the snacks that the friend ate earlier, you know? The very same kind of snack that you help yourself to right now. That way, they can't get away even if they wanted to. Because, you know, why would they want to? You know? They didn't do anything wrong. Do you think so too? So, what do you think the friend will do now? Are you gonna leave? Boom. Another one. Bites the dust. Oh yeah. Today was fucking hectic. Like that, today was just entirely hectic. I went to go see my family again, and then I'm back home, but like that trip back was so fucking hectic. Like I had to back a bus out to like do a U-turn because the road was closed. So that was something. It went so by so fast. I mean, these days are like flying by at this like rate. So I just want to say thanks so much for all the support and everything on the recent videos. Really appreciate it, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.